amaze me. My God, who will help these babies? Dysfunctional, but I'm functioning. I'm just wondering if your signs and wonders when they wondering and get me out the hole that I stumbled in. Well, I tried. And Lord, know I cried. Help. You know I'm tired of the helping hand to get me out the fire. I've been in the fire so long, I can't get burned no more. I thought you was putting out the flame, but it was rain from the storm. That's over my head, making me stressed all day long. They won't let me rest, it's on my chest. I ain't that strong. I need a lifeline right now. 911 won't do. My back's against the wall now. Done all that I could do. I prayed every prayer, went to every service like I know how. Just a ship without a sail. I'm lost without your help. I need help. Oh, Lord, I need your help. Good evening, everyone. Tell us, where are you tuning in from? Good evening. We need a word, it's too far gone. I need a lifeline right now. 911 won't do. My back's against the wall now. Done all that I can do. Good evening, Angie. Good evening. I got no how. Just a ship without a sail. I'm lost without your help. Lord, it's me this time. Said I'm crying all day. Go ahead and in the chat, let us know who is in the audience this evening. Where are you tuning in from? Dear Lord, I need a little help now, see? I feel left out, I can't tell my right from my left now. My mama's crying because my daddy's dying, he got pains all. Hey, Melissa, welcome. I might be wrong, but I'm right here, yeah. I'm trying to hold on when my hands hurt or the ropes out. Because when life fights, it don't fight fair. So I'm leaning all on these ropes now. And I got hope, but it's low now. So I'm leaning all on these ropes. Sandra Thursday, welcome. We're happy to have you with us this evening. Yes. So come on, Jesus. Just go on in the chat and drop us a friendly hello so we know who is with us this evening. We want to greet you properly.
Don't be shy. We see you there. Come on and share.
As they say, come on in here. Get in the room.
Come on in the room. Tell them now, come on in the room. Come on in the room, y'all. Y'all don't know about that. See, we don't even know if you know, because we don't know who's out there now. Depending on how old you are, you know all about come on in the room. I know Melissa knows. How are y'all doing?
Oh, we missed you guys last Friday as we spent time with family, practicing gratitude and just giving thanks. But we definitely were thinking of our sisters that join us Friday evenings for Sistah Chat. You were missed. You were in our hearts, and we are glad to be back this evening. How was everyone's Thanksgiving? The question, I'm gonna just go ahead and start with the question Dre asked all of us. What was your most favorite dish this Thanksgiving? What was the dish?
Absolutely. Lashon, I guess you can start while we're waiting in the chat to hear people tell us what their favorite dish was. You already had plenty practice, so why don't you go ahead and remember you have to choose one.
What? I knew you were going to hold me to one. It would be the brisket. My husband smoked, or Dre smoked a brisket, and it melted in your mouth. The flavors. Oh, I keep telling this man that he could make a killing on a food truck.
All right. So what you're saying is you knew how bad I wanted brisket, and you know how the brisket makes me feel. So you're gonna bring it up knowing that I'm 6.5 hours away from the brisket. Is that what we're doing here tonight on
I had to be honest. It was the smoked brisket. Other people had smoked brisket too. Just
other people did? Oh, okay. Chandler had smoked brisket. So I think it's like just a lot of jealousy going on there. Hey Danielle, watching from PA.
Hey Danielle.
Tawanda said, "Is there any brisket left?"
Yeah, I don't think so, T. I don't think so.
It's okay. Kyrie is gonna smoke one for Christmas. I think this is one of the challenges that COVID has caused for us, that we have to do our own individual cooking of our favorite things, but it's okay. We're gonna make it.
And what was your favorite dish? You did all the cooking this year. You and Kyrie and Tawanda.
Yes. So it's joint activities. Tawanda did the yams, which I just have to say it. I have said it. I don't ever care who's listening. No one ever anywhere makes yams like Tawanda.
Well, they call candied yams.
I call them shellac yams. They are the best yams I have ever had. And I used to think I made good yams, but Tawanda got the yams on a whole nother level. We're gonna let her have that, and that is what she made. And then Kyrie, we do joint activities on the stuffing, dressing, whatever you want to call it. I do the cornbread. He does the rest. So we did that. We had some greens and ham and turkey, just regular stuff.
Okay, pick your one. What was your one?
I don't even remember.
I do remember. Wait. Y'all do remember when she told me I had to pick one, and she just named like a bunch of
Well, I didn't say that I like those things. I said that's what we had because you brought up the cooking. Okay. So if I must say so, my number one dish would be the yams. Oh, Melissa. Hey, Tarita, listen, it's the simplest thing. I don't know why I can't get it. I think you just have to stir it the way Tawanda does. She can tell you, but it's not going to be the same. She got some type of extra love that goes into it. So
I think Asia has come pretty close. I've heard Asia say that she's come pretty close to Tawanda's. Okay. Yeah, I've heard. I don't.
What is it? Close only is in horseshoes or something. What's the phrase? Listen. I'm not sure. So Danielle, Tyrita, Chandra. So Chandra said she had smoked brisket. That was her favorite. Anybody else have a favorite that they enjoy Thanksgiving? I mean, I know we're not alone, but I will say it was great to just be able to be together. So we all did our own individual things. Which was a first for us, probably for as long as we've been around. But that's how it went. Hey, Stony. So Christina said she had duck. Duck was her favorite. Doesn't Dre like duck?
Yeah.
I think Dre and D both like duck. So, All right. Oh,
Tyrita. Now, was that something different for you guys this year to do the seafood? And crab legs are one of my favorite. I don't do the shrimp, but I do crab legs.
Yes, Tyrita. We had that during the week. We actually made sure that we didn't have to use the kitchen before Thanksgiving. And Shauna, you came up with a good thought on on Thanksgiving. What was your thought about all the Thanksgiving prep?
I'm afraid to say it out loud. For as long as you cook, like you spend the whole day. Selena was in my COVID Thanksgiving bubble, and this was the thought I had. Selena and Dre cooked all day. I mean, everything was delicious and so worth their time. But at one point, I was like, is this really worth it for the cooks? I mean, because you start the night before prepping and getting everything ready, and then the day comes. And so I was like, just started thinking, is it worth all the work? But then when we sat down to eat, I was like, well, yeah, this was worth it. And then we had food for, the next 3 days. So it was good. And it kept our minds off of being lonely, of the fact that our family is usually like 20 of us. Mm-hmm. So the fact that, it was only 5 of us, it was a good distraction. And it was something, positive we were doing because we were all in the kitchen together. Brianna was chopping cheese and, everybody was there except so
that again for the people in the back.
She showed up at the end, and her and Dre made the stuffing or dressing, and that's up for debate too. What is it? Stuffing? Is it dressing? What is it?
Yeah, so let us know what it is for y'all. Tyrita said y'all have good cookouts. Yeah, Rita. And Selena said duck is good, but it's greasy. It is greasy. I don't know that it's good. I can't remember, but I hadn't wanted it again. I think I've had it a couple of times. So Christina said until the next Thursday. So Christina, let me tell you something. Yesterday I fixed me a plate. Tawanda was on the FaceTime watching, and I was like, yes, I'm eating this 7-day-old food and I'm gonna be happy about it and all of this. Child, I ate that food. My stomach was just messed up. Now I don't know if it's because I ain't had no business going back to the cheesy grease, but I was like, "Ooh, I'm so glad Tawanda don't know what's going on here." So now she knows, and she cracking up in the background here. She, oh Lord, Melissa says I do not eat leftovers.
Her and my brother-in-law Randy would get along really well,
and my brother-in-law Gary doesn't eat leftovers either. So Lena said her baby did the stuffing. So I'm glad. I mean, here's what I said. I'm just glad we all survived Thanksgiving, right? We were coming off of our weight loss challenge. And so everybody kind of, got a chance to treat themselves. But for me, I just was grateful that, we were protected, we were safe, we were well, and we were together in our own right. And then we did our family Zoom. So I was glad about that. So Rita said, we live for leftovers in my house. Then you should have stopped by my house on your way home. So there's a couple of things that we want to touch on. But wait, Shawnee, how are you? Wait, who are you?
We do have a bad habit of doing that. We just start talking because we know each other.
Right.
And at this point, most of the people who have been joining us on the actual live, you guys know us too, sisters. But I am Lashon Moseley, educator, wife, mom, life coach, sister, daughter, lover of God, and all things joy. So that is who I am. And Sharhonda.
And I am Sharhonda, lover of Christ and Kyrie and Mommy, all the Sibs plus, and lover of all things hope. So that's who I am. And I'm a part of the Sistah Chat crew. So I had a really good week. It went quickly. It's Friday. I feel like yesterday was Monday. And so I had a great week. How about you?
Well, the day before Thanksgiving, my school district, we experienced a cyber attack. And what that meant was there was a ransomware virus that shut down the entire school district from Wednesday until Wednesday for a week. And so many people would think, oh, you guys couldn't have your computers. You must have been off. Well, no, because I am a part of the tech team. So while teachers and students couldn't work, I was very busy. I was in lots of meetings, lots of conversations. We were just trying to figure out how are we going to navigate this. Teachers' computers were infected. They lost 15 years worth of work. My computer was fine, so I wasn't impacted that way, but trying to support the other teachers and the students. So the week was hectic for me. And then we got the students back online on Wednesday. And that required a lot of emailing from parents, lots of SOS calls. So you're right, the week did go by quickly. The word I was using was chaos, but I was leaning on grace and resilience. Mm-hmm. And so I made it through. So I am grateful. Sound mind, sitting here Friday, as the week came towards the end, most of the students were able to be reconnected and everything is kind of calming back down. But grace and resiliency was what I had to lean on a lot this week.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you?
For me, I think I'm in end of year overload, right? So I think I'm on like I actually broke it. I was on like day 20 something of not being able to sleep. So up until I think Wednesday, I was staying up to like 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning, just hadn't been able to get any sleep at all. Mind racing with all the things that are going on and all the things that we're going to be, that I have that are in the mix. And so I hadn't been sleeping, but I went to sleep on Wednesday night and I went to sleep on Thursday night and I finally got some sleep. So that was really exciting. But the highlight of my week is looking at the rest of the month and realizing that almost every one of my appointments are filled, so that my practice is full. It's hard for people who want an appointment, but I was overjoyed to know I opened up my calendar early so that people can go in. And so I have about 5, and I think it's less because I saw stuff coming in today, but I have less than 5 available slots for mental health for the rest of the year.
How many?
Less than 5.
Less than 5. Yes. That is something to celebrate. And, I'm really glad to hear you acknowledge that, because one of the things that came up in a coaching call this week was we don't take time to celebrate ourselves. And so I'm really glad to hear you, acknowledging that and celebrating it, because that's a win.
Mm-hmm. It is a win. But above that win was hearing a client say to me that the impact that I had on their life was life-changing, and that they know that their healing is real. And so that right there was like, this is why I do this. Like, this is why I do this work. So that was really very fulfilling for me. So, yeah. So Danielle says, my highlight of the week was finding out my job reinstating our 401k ER match. It was stopped mid-year due to COVID. Yes, Danielle. that's that's something good to be excited about.
Absolutely. Oh, this one right here. This is something else to celebrate.
Yeah. This
also.
So Tyrita, you want to read that, Sean?
Yes, the highlight of my week. I got my mammogram results. Shawnee and Mook, thanks for shaming me to go get it done. And it is benign. And that is absolutely something to celebrate. And Tyrita, that reminds me, I didn't even mention it to Sharhonda. My letter came in the mail and my results were good as well. So Tyrita and I both have that to celebrate. And it wasn't that. How was it for you anyway, Tyrita? How bad was it?
Tyrita's gonna let us know. But for those of you who may have missed it a few weeks back, we talked about the importance, and I think for anyone is worth repeating, but the importance of making sure that you don't neglect certain things with your health. I know that there's a lot of apprehension with COVID, and that is what we talked about being able to get an appointment or being able to have confidence. And some women did post that they were really just afraid to go and get the mammogram done. That is what Tyrita said. She sent me a message the next day saying, "You will not shame me anymore," with her appointment time. And so now she has her results. So it's worth saying again, if you have not gotten your mammogram this year and you are of the age of a mammogram or high risk and below the age, it's a reminder to go out, but not just mammograms, but dental appointments, anything, eye appointments. There are things that you do need to look into. And so we just encourage you not to neglect yourself for fear. So, yeah. Yes, Danielle. Amen to sleep. That thing was wearing me down, and I'm just praying I could keep getting some. Eloisa said, "Greetings and salutations from Union City, New Jersey." Hey, Eloisa. So glad for you to join us. Tam says she got an interview in Maryland. Pray for me. Lord, in the name of Jesus, do it now. Tam knows she need to get back to Maryland. So you know I'm praying. I didn't forget you on the beta test. And I'm definitely excited about that. So text me the details so that I can be praying the date that you have the interview. We know you're going to rock it because 12 years ago around this time, you rocked it. And here you are. So we're excited about that.
Oh, so much to celebrate. Oh, this is much.
So Dre says, blessings, blessings, blessings. You are absolutely right, Dre. There's just an opportunity to be grateful. And Tyrita said,
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. And it was less than 15 minutes. And I think that's the thing that surprises you, especially now with COVID, you're not waiting, go in and less than 15 minutes, and it's so worth it. And then our cousin Selena actually works at a mammogram company, and she confirms as well, it is not that bad, but definitely necessary.
Awesome. And Tam says she got her teeth cleaned yesterday. She said, I got my teeth cleaned yesterday. I'm still not there, Tam. I got that, whatever you call that thing, Kyrie be pumping up all the time, but
water pick? No.
Yeah.
No, Brian had an orthodontist appointment this week as well. Yep. So she's done an orthodontist. She sees a retina specialist. She had that on Thursday. So you're right. I think preventive care can also be linked right up there with other forms of self-care.
Absolutely. And knowing, because one of the things Terry just said is the fear of knowing, and knowing is important, right? So we know that's essential. Selena said dental hygiene is important. Go get your mouth checked. And Tyrita asked Tam, does she need a ride? No, Tam, Tyrita, she just need to relocate back from New York. She's having way too much fun up there. Lord, let's just Dre. Yeah, I've seen some of y'all mouths. Dre's crazy. Yes. Selena, we're gonna have a segment just for you in a few weeks so you can tell the people. Andrea said, hey, Andrea said, I just had my GYM and mammogram appointments this week. Thumbs up. Awesome. It's essential. Listen, for all of you, it's the end of the year. You may have some money on that flex spending account, HSA account. This is the time to be using it. I even encourage you to get a mental health checkup. Not that sheet that they give you at the doctor's office that asks, are you sleeping? Are you hungry? But, really go somewhere, check somebody out and see, I call it flush the line. It's important to flush the line. So, yes, Stoney said preventive care. Yes, to preventive care. Selena said she's been to the dentist in the last 6 months. And then Sharhonda Ford, it was great. Just me and my hugs and the yams. So she's coming in on that. Yes to the yams. The yams. Let me mention this because I'm gonna leave it on preventive care just for a minute with Christina. But one of the things that I've been sharing, and it's funny, everybody's talking about the dentist, but one day I was talking, I said it's from dental to mental. We always hear that twice a year we should go to the dentist. You get a cleaning two times a year through the dentist, but no one is talking about the frequency of mental health. And so it is so essential. If you don't feel like you need to go to a therapist or mental health professional long term, it would be great to just do a check-in at least twice a year. And so that's just in general. But parents, mothers, fathers, I urge you to make mental health a part of your child's regular health routine. We have seen children at the center as we have seen children at the center as young as 3 years old, and I think even younger, I've heard. And so there are children around the world getting care as young as 2 and 3 years old. If you make it a priority for your children to go to therapy early, they will not consider it a stigma or something wrong. So establish it as a form of care that they look forward to and not a reaction to them not acting the way you think they should. I cannot stress that enough.
I absolutely agree with that. And then one of the things that I tried to share with Mariah is not to wait until there was a problem. You already want to have an established relationship with your therapist, counselor, or coach. And so that way the trust is already established, the familiarity, and it's not seen as I go to therapy when I have a problem. There's already an ongoing relationship, kind of like having a lawyer on retainer.
What they call it, prepaid legal. Prepaid legal, absolutely. Especially with this pandemic, you're absolutely right, Stoney, because one of the things is we're seeing so many people. It's been really a blessing. I have some things and resources that I'm going to be introducing at the beginning of the year. But there are so many things that I have learned about just families and the dynamics and the distance and the discord that we've seen. And so specifically for couples, I'm going to have a huge push in the beginning of the year for couples, because look, the reality is couples have been in the house for 9 months. People as a family, you have been in the house for 9 months with people that you had opportunities to distance yourself from previously if you wanted to. And so there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of insecurity, there's a lot of discomfort, there's a lot of frustration with being around people that you was barely liking before COVID. So in the beginning of the year, I'm going to begin to talk about ways to overcome that, because there's going to have to be a reacclimation period of, just relationships and establishing relationships. So those things are essential. You are, in essence, stuck in a house with people that you had a respite from in the past. And so what do you do with that?
What do you do with that? And I think, for some families, this is the new norm. I hear a lot of talk about, the vaccine. It's still a far away. So I think it's really important. One of the things that to do is design in the relationship. If you need space, if you need that alone time, I really think this is an opportunity for families to dial up their communication skills.
Absolutely. Remind me, I'm going to go back to that, Shoni. I see Stoney saying she needs that resource, but I will share one thing that I'm going to be introducing, but y'all going to get it here first here on Sistah Chat Live tonight. Selena said most jobs have EAPs and you don't have to put any money out. You get 3 to 6 sessions. All you have to do is make time to go. And honestly, Lena, all you have to do is take time and go. So, we make time for everything else. It's so essential. And so if you aren't aware of an EAP, Employee Assistance Program, look into it. Ask your job, ask your employer, and take advantage of it. Just like you would take advantage of the 401k match, something that the company is giving you, go and see someone just to talk. I call it flush the line. So for me, next year, part of what I'm going to be offering is maintenance sessions. So if it's, whether it's coaching Lashon and or coaching for me or mental health, but just having those check-ins. If you want to do 30 minutes and, just check in and see how things are going, those things are essential. And getting therapy or coaching or guidance, it does not mean that you're defective. It means that it's an opportunity for you to talk and hear a different perspective. Or a lot of times when I'm working with people, I only repeat what they say. So people laugh at me and because you may say to me, well, I'm struggling. I don't even know why I'm still in a relationship. And I will say, I'm struggling. I don't know why I'm in a relationship. And then they'll look at me like that. And I'll be like, no, I just said what you said. This ain't deep. You already said it. It's different when you hear yourself say something, or when you hear what you said repeated, you can receive it as if it's something different. So,
yeah, because most of us aren't. I mean, we're so busy being busy that we aren't really taking the time to sit with our thoughts and feelings and, understand that we actually have a choice in every circumstance, right? Absolutely. There is a choice. Yeah. So I do.
One thing I learned today, and I shared it with Lashon already, is wait, right? Silence is such an incredible part of healing. And so I learned today, wait was, why am I talking? And so if I'm in a session with someone and we sit silent for 45 minutes, that might be good, because you don't always have to be talking. Sometimes the person just needs to sit in it. And Sean says that all the time. You're always like, hold that. Sit with that.
Just sit with it. Let's just sit with it. That is so good, Tyrita, that AJ reminds you of his mental health appointments. That is really good.
Absolutely. Dre said he's a huge fan of therapy. I'm going to speak for myself, and I'm definitely going to shout my mom out on this, because at age 8, she had us going to therapy, or she had me going to therapy right at Mount Carmel Gill in Jersey City on whatever that street was. And I remember, listen, if your children are resistant to therapy, that's okay. I can tell you my first therapy appointment, when I got there, the lady sat me down and she's like, so why don't you tell me what's happening? And 8-year-old Sharhonda was like, girl, that's why my mother brought me here. I'm not going to tell you what she's paying you to tell her. I could have told her I didn't have to come here. So that's how I started my therapeutic relationship with the counselor. However, that was my entryway to mental health. And I do know at some point, it was really, really essential. It was really essential, and it helped me. So, Tyrita said, my PCP has a therapist on staff that you see during your annual visit. Black Doctors Matter. Yes, they do. And that is awesome. Yes, Christina said she said that she needs the literature, but I saw her say I interned there. So Christina said she interned there. Christina, tell us what you did at Mount Carmel Gill. That place still around. I remember $8. I was like, $8, Mom. Danielle, what you saying? Oh, you tagging Camilla? Tell Camilla to come on in the room. Yes, mother, sure did. Mental health has always been important to you. So I'm so grateful, so grateful that you made sure that we had a space to really discuss and talk about what was going on. And I mean, it's no secret. Anyone who's known me longer than the new me, anyone who knew Mooka knows that therapy is where have been, and anybody who knows me now knows that therapy is where I still go. And so yes, Melissa said mommy was on it. Melissa said, let me see, Shawnee, I got you blocked right there. Sorry.
Okay, there we go.
Melissa said we must be honest with ourselves. People tend to be busy but not productive. We don't sit with our thoughts and feelings because we may have to acknowledge the things about ourselves that we may not like. Just a thought.
And you should have did your hashtag. Hope that helps. Is that her hashtag?
That's her hashtag. Hope that helps. Yes, it absolutely. Look, it helped me. I often say busyness is a distraction for what God really has for you to do. You know, we find ourselves kind of stirring just to be doing something, but it may not necessarily be what we need to do. So Stoney said she was getting her BSW. Awesome. And she ran therapy sessions. Awesome. I don't think I knew that, Christina.
You know what? I'm going to tell y'all a story. The friend of mine was talking about wanting to repair their car, and they were in the garage and they were working on the shelves. They were organizing all of the tools. They were cleaning, sweeping the floor. Now they went out there to fix the car, but they did everything but work on the car. And so I think that's what, kind of that reminds me of what Melissa's talking about. We are busy being busy, but not necessarily productive on the goal that we set out. So every day the wife would say to the husband, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm fixing the car. But he never went near the car.
Carrie better not comment here. Because listen, I think you just talked about me clearly. I don't know what, but I'm convicted. I know I'm guilty of that. Kyrie's like, well, what you doing? I'm like, I'm cleaning the office. I'm going through these bins, Lord help us. All right, that was too much. Selena said mental health should be a requirement. Therapy, yes, it should be a requirement. And then Christina said, working on my master's now. I already have my BSW work for DCP&P. All right. Yes, Christina. That is awesome. That is awesome. So I think I was going to segue to, Melissa had a good segue for busy and productivity and being honest with ourselves, not sitting with our thoughts and feelings. And so this is a good segue, Lashon, for giving while you live.
Yeah, one of the things that we, really value is community and service. And so we have been talking about, what impact. A lot of times we think, oh, that's too big for us. There aren't any changes that we can make. And we, really started to focus in our corner, our parts of the world. What could we do to have an impact on those around us? One, you guys have heard me talk about my Girls Empowerment Mission. And one of the things I had the pleasure of doing this weekend was making deliveries to the girls. Each girl, we asked for sponsors, and each girl gets an angel and they get a Christmas gift. And we delivered those this Sunday, along with they got 25 activities they'll be working on. And so then Sharhonda and I started talking. One of the philanthropy acts that you and Kyrie do every year. You want to speak about what you guys do every year?
One of the things that we try and do is to adopt a family or give back to a family. Last year, we got to do Angel Tree for someone else. Actually, we ended up just delivering it based on our location, which was such an incredible blessing to us. This year, the Lord laid on my heart to purchase some things and then donate them. And so we struggled with how we were going to do that for Thanksgiving and then for Christmas. And as you know, one day we had been trying to decide how we would know which families had a need, and God showed it to us. And so we went right ahead and moved forward with it for Thanksgiving. In doing so, what we learned was that family had a greater need than what we were planning to meet at this time. And so we have decided to continue to adopt that family, the same family for Christmas, so that we can provide for that family as well. We learned that the family has a very extreme lack, and that there's just a great need for everything from clothes to food to
coats
to support for school expenses.
Right? That's the word. Yes. So so we would like to collaborate together and pull our resources. And then we would also like to invite you to help us with this project and take and adopt this family this holiday season. And if you would like, any amount would be helpful. $5, $10, and it will go to a family of 4. a single mom, and there are three children. Yeah, three children and one mom. And so we are going to share our Cash App, and we're for the next 2 weeks, we are going to accept donations. If you would like to, instead of cash, if you would like to do a gift card, that would be welcomed as well, because the family does need groceries. We would like to try to provide some toys for the children. As we mentioned, they also need coats. And there is a child that is in the process of applying for colleges. So we would like to be able to help with senior pictures, anything that we can do to help this mom and this family during this holiday season is our to have an impact and to do what we can in our corner of the world.
Yeah, and I can't stress it enough. I like tear up thinking about it, because we didn't. It's oftentimes you don't recognize the need that people around you have. And so we look at people and you've heard me say it if you've listened to any of these lives before, don't measure your inside to someone else's outside. Don't measure your internal to someone else's external, because we are looking at what it looks like someone else has, and we're not, it doesn't equate to what they really had. And so the thought that people don't have food, right? I know we see it all the time on TV. I know we see the reports on the news. I know we see these things, but the thought that that there are really people that we know and families that we know that don't have food was so painful for me that, I mean, if I was looking around the house
and on the news this year, when I saw the lines of people waiting at the different food banks and the distribution centers, that really, the statistics are out that the economic hardships that families are feeling this season is greater than normal. And so for us to, just be able to all kind of pull together and shower this family with the sense to let them know that they're not alone, that there are a group of people out here that care for them and want them to have, some nice things, some new things is, what our goal is. It's not about abundance. I think this particular family will appreciate whatever we give them, and actually less will be better. So it's not about us when I say less, I don't mean we don't want to drop off bags and bags of clothes. We're just trying to make an impact to let this family know that there is a community out here of people that care about them and that, want to support them. So we just wanted to give you the opportunity to help us with this mission. And we appreciate already, we see in the chat lots of people asking for the Cash App and asking us to have conversations with them privately. So thank you already. I'm just overwhelmed, that so many people already are willing to support and help, and we do appreciate it.
And if we learn of specific information, then we'll share it. We have not told the family that we were doing this yet or planning to do it. And another thing, as Lashon said, we're not looking to do a lot of stuff because the family doesn't have space for stuff. So we just want to make sure that their needs are being met and that they are able to be sustained through this season.
Yeah. And they are very, very humble. And so they will not accept, and I don't, please don't take this the wrong way, but they will not accept bags and bags of clothing. They just are very grateful with what they need. They are not into abundance. They really do live a minimalist life. I think is the easiest way to try to describe it. Yeah. So just, keep that in mind as well. So that's why we want to do gift cards and cash so that as they need things, they have the freedom and flexibility to sustain themselves.
Absolutely. So that's that family. And then we have a very special mission for our very special sister. If some of you have heard her speak. We are going to share her mission, and then we're also going to post her information on the page as well. But our very special sister, Melissa Nicole, and I think I'm just going to read it because it's probably easier. And God knows, I don't know. I think I've been crying all day. Did I tell you that, Lashon? Like,
no, but it is it is heavy, but we know that God is sovereign, so we're just going to share it, and we just ask that everybody continue to lift her up in prayer. But let's go ahead and share.
So we're going to share it, and then we're going to ask you to, if you feel led, to share it as well. But Melissa was on a couple of weeks ago with us. She is God sent to Sistah Chat, Melissa Nicole, and she, Melissa, I don't know if you have a way to drop the picture or the link there. I don't know. You're the tech X. But she shared in her testimony a few weeks ago. Melissa was the one who shared about the table, what she brings to the table when we talked about relationships, which was powerful, and people were still talking about it. But Melissa also told us about her need for a kidney transplant. And the week that she was on, joined us impromptu for Sistah Chat Live, she was headed to Emory Hospital in Atlanta for her final appointment to be placed on the donor list. And today, Melissa posted her story and how the donor list, it may take approximately 3 to 5 years before she can be matched. And so just reading that, Melissa, if you've met her, if you talked to her, if you've seen her, if you've heard her, she is all personality, all gratitude, all joy, all smiles, all hope. She's, it is just amazing to hear her testimony, because she really is living, I don't look like what I've been through. And so Melissa had a diagnosis of sarcoidosis 9 years ago. And so this is a result of that diagnosis. So Melissa has a donor website. She has a donor announcement where she is telling about her story and asking people who may be interested in being a donor, how they can learn more. And if they're not, how they can just share her story so that anyone who may be interested, I mean, really, this is the season of giving. And so we know that nothing is too hard for God. We know that He alone is the giver and the sustainer of life and all things. But we did want to bring that here and share it. So we will also be sharing that information with you as well. So we have two really good giving initiatives. One is to make sure that Melissa's message is heard everywhere and seen. So we invite you to share it. And when you share it, tell somebody else to share it. And then our Adopt a Family effort, the Sistah Chat Adopt a Family effort.
Yeah. So we really appreciate all of your support and just taking the time to hear what we're sharing and asking you. We will definitely put it on all of our social media pages, because Melissa can't post it here, but it is on her page. So I think we can copy it and then put it on all of our social medias. And then we just ask you to simply to share it. And Sharhonda put in the Cash App for our Adopt a Family, and you can reach out to us, inbox us as well.
And we will post that. We will share it. If you feel led, you can share it as well. I know, Lashon, do you plan to do the delivery for the family?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we will. We will take care of doing the delivery, and if we need to, we can also use electronics similar to like we did for Thanksgiving. So yeah, so we are looking forward to that. And so then we just kind of ask you, what are some ways that you are making an impact in your neck of the woods, in your corner? These are two things that we're working on, and we appreciate your support. But what things are you looking forward to during the season? And if it hadn't been on your mind, hopefully now your wheels are turning and you're starting to think about what are some things that you can do to make an impact in someone else's life.
Absolutely. And I think, Shawnee, I did say it when we talked, so I'm going to say it again. We'll probably do some type of drawing for people who donate. So We'll give away something blingish t-shirt, mask, or something. We'll do a drawing because we still want to give back also. And so we appreciate the efforts of everyone. But that is a question. If you're planning to do something, or if you're giving back, drop in the chat what you're doing to give back in this season. If you're watching the replay, drop in the chat what you're doing to give back, because people are still looking for ways to give. And so someone had already asked me earlier, is this tax deductible? This is not a tax deductible effort because we are not a 501c. So this is just you giving, not to say, hey, I gave and this is a write-off. This is not a write-off this year. So.
Yes. Yes, not this year. The other thing I think we said we wanted to kind of wrap up with was kind of going into the 2021. You had posted about kind of goal setting, or I guess even reflecting on 2020, what goals and things that we accomplished, and then making a plan for as we roll into 2021.
Yeah, and I'll say this. One of the things that we're talking about, yes, he does, Tyrita, yes. One of the things that we're talking about too is let us know what type of things you would be interested in 2021. So if we're hosting a conference, or if we're doing a class, or if we're having a group, what things would you like, or what do you need to prepare you for your next? What type of empowerment do you need? What type of encouragement do you need? I have a marriage intensive that I'm going to be offering, and it's restore, revive, reset, right? And so I don't think that's just for marriage. I think that is for anyone. So how do you need to be restored? How do you need to be revived? How do you need to be reset? And if you're interested, or if there's any way that we can support you, let us know, because we do plan to do some different things and more things in the new year. So we're looking forward to your feedback for that as well. Melissa said, I look for opportunities to pay for people's groceries while I'm in grocery shopping. It is always a joy to be able to do that. Melissa, that is something that I have always loved to do as well. Not at Costco, because it can get a little costly, and it's really the only it's really the only store that I go to. And maybe this is something, but I feel like if people in the Costco, they don't really need anything. That's not right, but
let me tell you, I had one of my coworkers, what she always did is they would pay for, like at Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's, pay for the order, the car behind them. And that's always, a fun thing to do as well. Easy. I think Dunkin' Donuts is kind of safe.
Dunkin' Donuts is safe, because I went to that there Starbucks today and that was unsafe. But
here's a question I have. Are you a Starbucks? Can you love both? Can you love Dunkin' and Starbucks? Or is it one or the other? For me, I'm a Dunkin' girl. Maybe because that's my price point. I don't know.
Yeah, y'all let us know. Tawanda, can you type that? Are you a Dunkin' person, or are you a Starbucks person? I am 100% Dunkin'. Listen, America runs on Dunkin', so I'm not sure why I ran to that Starbucks, but it was free, so it was for me. But God knows I want my Dunkin' tomorrow. Stoney said, such a blessing. Hey, Maurice. Luke. Maurice said, hey, sis. Mo, if you just joining in, make sure you share our efforts, Sistah Chat efforts. We're doing Adopt a Family. And then Melissa, do you know Maurice? I'm sure you do. Jersey. But Maurice, share our information on Melissa. Maurice, you have a huge following, so make sure that message gets out there. We want everyone to share. Yes, Danielle, but I don't have a Wawa. And so if I had a Wawa, I would be at that machine getting the mocha wake up. Getting homesick.
It's too late for me to walk to the Wawa right now, but I do think tomorrow, I think I will have the mocha wake up. That is the Wawa. That's the truth.
Well, that is the truth. But I'm going to have Dunkin' Donuts, and I pray that my mother goes and gets it for me, because I will be in meetings from 10 to 8. So I'm going to definitely need some. I want to do this. I promised. Yes. So I knew you knew Maurice. Maurice, we're going to share Melissa's effort. Please, I want this message to go as far as it could go, because we are, yes, Melissa, believe in God for healing in the kidney. And then Sistah Chat is adopting the family. So please share that as well. But I promised, I think it was Christina, about the sharing the resource. One of the resources that I'm going to be presenting next year. And so this is for, I know Sony has children. I think everybody who is on here has children. So if you are on here, you have children or a spouse or friends or anyone living in the house with you, this information is for you. Okay, so I'm going to share it. It's free for you today because you're going to have to pay for it in 2021. So this is what, I mean, hey, that's real talk. So you listen, you got to hear first. That's why y'all got to join the Sistah Chat so you can get these things free before they hit their website at a price. But this is what I have been sharing with families, and we have had great results with it. Because we are now learning that you are living with people that you do not know, it is very essential to take this opportunity to get to know the people that you live with and or are connected to. What I have seen within marriages, within child-parent relationships, within sibling relationships and friends is that you really do not know the people that you are connected to. So if you were sitting in the room, it started with parents, right? So a lot of parents don't really know. They can't get their children to talk to them. External things used to be the way to start conversations. So you used to be able to ask your child, what did you learn in school? How did school go? And that would be able to foster discussion and conversation. But a lot of those conversations have been limited due to the restrictions and the parameters around COVID in this pandemic. However, what I have created, I'm sure maybe it's somewhere else, is a way for families to come together. Simple getting to know you challenges for your family. If you are a parent and you have children, I encourage you to incentivize them by adding a bonus to that component. So if you have children, you're sitting around, make it fun. Make sure whoever wins can get something. You can even have a win jar. So the child can put in 5 things that they love. You can put in 5 things that you like. If it's a child, if they lose, they can load the dishwasher, depending on something age appropriate, or they can fix you breakfast, something like that. But this sheet, for instance, may have 25 items on it. They are getting to know you items. Items like, what is your favorite color, favorite food? What do you hate the most? What's an experience you didn't like? Who's your favorite friend? Who is your first friend? And so this will, each person in the family, sibling group, parent-child relationship, or marriage, whatever your core is, will get a master sheet, right? When you get this master sheet, you're going to fill in all the answers. And then, yes, I'm going to ask you to come together as a family. Be careful now. And so when you get together around your table, everybody picks a sheet. It's a scramble. And whoever sheet you get, you answer the question. I added this component yesterday. Get you a timer, like from Taboo, 3 minutes or 5 minutes to, oh, I'm sorry. Then I realized everybody has a smartphone. Put the timer on it. I'm so old, right? Put the timer on it and play the game. What will happen is each time the papers are shifted, you are all learning something about one another. If you gathered your family right now, would you know their favorite color? Would you know what the one question I'm urging you to ask your children? There are 2 things. What is the thing you love the most about yourself? That is the first question you want to hear from your child. And then what thing do you love the least about yourself? And so when your child is answering, you are getting to see their insecurities, their inadequacies, their fears, the things that make them not feel special. This is an opportunity for you to get to know your child at a deeper level, or your spouse at a deeper level, because I'm hearing people say, oh, I didn't even know that about you. Oh, I didn't even realize that. So this is it. This is the getting to know you challenge for families or siblings or peer groups or parents and children, so that you can come out of this, however many more months it is, knowing the people that you love, that you live with, or that are close to you better than you did before. Parents no longer know what their children want or need or like. This is your opportunity to change that.
Yeah. And I think the goal of what I really, it's about communication again. And that's what we were talking about, communication. A friend of mine, she asked us, and we've all been friends for a long time. And she said, if I wanted to surprise you with something, things I know about you, like what is your favorite go-to snack? What is your favorite, you already mentioned favorite color. What is your favorite wine? What is your favorite scent? What do you like to do in your free time? Who's your favorite author? Do you have a saying, or is there a special thing that you collect? And so I even encourage people to ask their friend group some of these same questions that you mentioned. And I think I think most of us know each other situational. And so I think this is deepening that relationship. And so I think these are great strategies that we could move beyond the family, but even to our friend group, So I think that's a great idea.
And that was a good point, Sean. I don't know if you remember a few years ago when I did random acts of kindness, and there were people that I thought of who I knew I wanted to do something for, but I didn't know enough about them because I knew them long time ago, right? So the only thing I knew is that this person loved Mike and Ike's, right? But I wanted to know more about them. And so I put it on my Facebook page, like, if someone was going to buy you something, what would you want, right? And then I randomly sent like 5 or 6 people something. But that is true. I am one of those people. I know everybody is different in my whole family. I don't like gift cards. I don't like, I said it, getting money as gifts. I mean, I don't mind, but I like to know that someone knows me enough that they can get me something I will love. And I love personalized things. So I think it's important, like you said, Shawnee, to know what someone you love likes so that you can surprise them. I would send you something with sunflowers, right? Or because you like sunflowers, or I would send you something that had joy on it because you like joy.
Yeah, there she's somewhere. Oh, there she
is. See, when she says joy. So I think I just think that's important. So
yeah. So I love all of those ideas, and I think it's great. I love it.
So you guys let us know if you are going to do the
I'm sorry.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely. I would like anything at Costco except pet food, because I don't have a pet, but I can take it back to Costco for a gift card. So I'll take that too. I digress. Sorry. If you don't know, Costco is my absolute favorite store and almost restaurant, because I love Costco. But guys, let us know, seriously, let us know, how are you making a difference in your community? Start the conversation. And if you decide to do Sharhonda's Getting to Know You Challenge, let us know how it goes. Let us know if you've deepened relationships. It's so important. Living on the surface just isn't going to do anymore.
Yeah, we all long for that connection. And I think COVID has helped us to really value that. I was, talking to some of the students and the one teacher, and we were saying that we miss each other. When you work with the same people every day, you have lunch together, your school community really, it really becomes family. And so the one student, he said, I never thought of that. He said, I just assumed y'all were always talking about kids. And I said, no, when someone is pregnant, we have a baby shower for them. When someone buys a new house, and so I was, we were just saying that those relationships, we are at a loss too. The adults, that socialization for us, we're feeling the impact of that as well.
Well,
So
that is grief.
grief.
You're grieving the relationships that you used to have, or the way the relationships were that you had.
Yeah. So, I think COVID has helped us to appreciate more, a lot more than, some of the things we were taking for granted. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna do a 1 minute countdown. If it's something you want to add in the chat, drop it there. If you've gained something, learned something, let us know. But we are so excited that you have joined us for however many months this has been. We are wrapping up. I think we have 3 more Sistah Chats to the year, or maybe 2 more because of the holidays. So we'll see how that goes. But we're really excited that you join us for Sistah Chat. And let us know if it's things you want to talk about, or if you feel like you want to be on Sistah Chat. Let us know. Even if you're a brother, let us know. All right, guys. We're signing off. Good night.
Good night.